Hello everyone and welcome to Crazy Clowns. I am Boardman.
And I might be the Raven.
I guess we weren't going for the joke I was going for. Well, it's almost Halloween. And you know, you should have already picked your Halloween costume by now, but we have decided that we would rank the most generic Halloween costumes, not insulting if you like any of these costumes or anything like that. These are just the basic Halloween costumes. We took out any copyrighted characters, not because of YouTube, just because we don't consider those generic. And nothing like the presidents or anything like that. We kind of just wanted to be like really, really generic that you can get out any Halloween store whatsoever. Well-known costumes and everything like that.
These are ones that you would see in like a high school-based TV show's Halloween party. You are bound to see these ones, at least in the background somewhere.
Yes, these are like the Halloween costumes that come to mind first. And we were actually, that funny you mentioned that. That's part of our ranking system, is the wearability on multiple places, not just trick-or-treating, your office Halloween party, or, wearing it to school, because that used to be a thing we always used to do at school. It'll be ranked on different ages, or the things like that.
True, because a good costume, because it is a generic one, to make it truly a uniform genericness, it has to work for any age.
Yes, it can't just be, something that like, oh, you look like a weirdo. But let's get into the costumes! Starting off strong with the pumpkin force, and just letting you know, just because it's a picture does not mean we're ranking this individual costume, we're ranking all versions of this costume, okay?
And these pictures are gotten by both me and Boldman, so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, because I don't even know some of the pictures you picked. So the pumpkin, a generic Halloween costume, a good Halloween costume. I think the one problem is, this costume has been associated a little too much with kind of like your first Halloween costumes that you do, kind of like as a baby and stuff.
This is definitely can be seen as a very childish costume, though I do have to point out, there is a simplified version that you can do if you're like crunched on time. You can just like draw a jack-o'-lantern on an orange t-shirt, so if you're like trying to do something quick the night before for school or something, it's pretty good.
I feel like also if you do on your t-shirt, you might get made fun of. But this one I like. This one you can wear at any age. Like the kind of more generic, like full round Halloween costume, you really can't. And I also feel like Disney Channel and things like this ruin this type of costume because they always give it to the fat dude. You know what I mean? So I think it's kind of like only a C tier because it kind of got ruined. See, the point of this whole list is the best generic costumes, and if not everyone can wear it, because like I don't really see any dudes wearing that type of costume right there. I can't really think of many, versions.
I don't think this is one that can easily be worn by any age. I think you can and you will look decent, but I don't know. Just when it comes, but when it comes to mind, you think usually of the one age group.
Yes, that is the main problem. So I think this one has to unfortunately be a C tier, but this was kids' costume list. This is S tier by far. But it's not. Next costume! Now, at first glance, the holiday costume, this is representing all holidays, by the way, just so you know. But at first glance, you may say, this is not a generic Halloween costume. But it 100% is. Every time I've been trick-or-treating when I was younger, I saw someone dressed as Santa Claus. A lot of people just have this suit, and it kind of makes it a cheap and easy costume if it's something you already had.
Plus, there's other holidays as well. There's elves as well. You can dress your reindeer, Uncle Sam, Easter Bunny.
Also, like the weirdo who wears that turkey hat. This also though includes like pilgrims and stuff like that.
Leprechauns, I guess, too.
Yes, leprechauns. See, there's some cool costumes in there. But there's a lot of awesome ones you get so judged for wearing it. Especially like nowadays where people really hate when you celebrate the holidays early.
Plus a lot of stuff like the 4th of July based ones and other things like that. I feel like most people are just gonna think you're lazy. You just do on a bunch of 4th of July stuff from a few months ago that you had in your closet. All these can actually be seen as lazy because most people would assume, oh, you just do on a Santa Claus outfit from your closet.
It's associated with not trying. Despite, as is, a Santa Claus costume is a good thing. You know, like, you go to the mall, you see a dude in that type of costume. It's a good costume by itself, but for trick-or-treating, for office parties, for these things, you kind of look like you didn't try. I don't know, I kind of think an E tier. Because it's not awful, but I kind of think an E tier.
I kind of want to... I was going to think possibly D because leprechauns and some of them aren't the worst, and you can pass some of them off, but I just feel like, even if you try going with Zombie Santa or something, you just seem like you're trying to repurpose something you already had in people's minds, so... yeah, well, let's go with E.
Because we're going by everyone's opinions, not just ours. Yeah, E tier. Next costume.
The fairy.
It's a cute costume for kids. As an adult, I think a lot of, like, inappropriate costumes kind of ruin this one, you know?
Plus, I mean, a lot of things, especially TV shows, cartoons especially, would throw in the fairy, the princess, the fairy princess, at least jokes for, like, little kids. So it's hard for, like, teenagers to get into it, but I guess that's changed over the years.
Problem is, I don't see this in an adult costume. Like an office party, I can never see doing this. But I think you have to go by it's for everyone. And you're not really that generic if it's not for everyone. I always say my rankings first, so why don't you say what you think this is first?
I think little kids, or I think adults typically have this as an inappropriate costume, which makes it harder for you to possibly get away with it at an office party or something. But I don't think it's a bad costume, per se.
No, I guess when you do look at it, it is a pretty good costume, just look-wise and stuff like that.
Plus, no one's going to judge you for coming in dressed as the fairy. It may be some of these are generic in a good way, the traditional. Some are generic as in not, you look like, oh, you just picked whatever. But I think fairy is a good type of generic that is a very trustworthy costume.
I don't know.
I want to rank it a C.
Oh, I was just gonna... Oh, good. That's what I was thinking, actually. Best costume.
The princess. Very majestic.
Not including Disney princesses, by the way.
A pretty solid costume. Kind of runs into the same problem as the fairy, but I feel like this is even worse. Because I feel like the fairy has been spun in many different things to be more teens and adults can wear it. And plus, fairies are more generically in other medias and stuff. I feel like it's hard to find like a pretty solid teen range princess costume that is not a Disney character or is just wearing like a tiara and then like a tutu or something. I feel like it has to be lower than fairy.
I don't know. My one thing I was about to say that you're making a good point that it should be lower than fairy. My one thing why I should tie the fairy is based on the pure fact that any age can wear it and it's fine for any age. It's, because like you run into a problem with the fairy costume that half of them at the store is inappropriate, meaning you can't wear it for every occasion. Now, every princess costume, I mean, okay, don't point out in the comments. Just go with it. Most princess costumes at the normal people's stores, you weirdos, are appropriate and thus can be worn anywhere. I kind of think it's a C tier.
Alright, I will rank it as a C just because there is some pretty solid princess costumes out there, so I will go with C.
Next costume. I'm just pointing out that the Raven got this picture.
I thought when we were discussing the costumes on the list, I thought this accompanied this costume nicely.
Okay, it did. The animal costume, dressing up as an animal.
Which can be something like one of these costumes, putting on a headband with ears or antlers, with basic colored clothing shorts and a tail.
This does not go with the black cat. We will get to that in a little bit. We thought that was just generic enough to be on its own. Now, this is a cute little kid's costume. By far.
Definitely, like, look at these. These kids look like a fun bunch.
Yeah, especially if you call them like infants. This is like the stereotypical infant costume.
Plus, this like will include like some of the dinosaurs and like dragons, I would assume. But I think like I feel like this could even be like a fun costume for any age. I don't know if it's the best costume, but I feel like this is like simple enough that a lot of people can like. You can even go Walmart buy like one of those onesies, and you can like have fun. You can go to school or go to a party, and you can have like a little fun with it, and it can be funny.
But the point is, it's now too easy to make an animal costume. The onesie is not the worst thing, but as you said, the plain color t-shirt, so many things that just sell the ears and things like that. It became to be kind of, as an adult, as you get older, kind of a bit of a lazier costume. I mean, there is some redeeming ones, like the gorilla costume, you know, that big, giant gorilla costume and things like that. But I think there's a lot of people who kind of, like, hoard this costume.
True, that is like a lot of the ones that people would associate with that. They associate these ones, and they associate the ears with the colored t-shirts. So I do think that, yeah, they have to take it down a notch.
So, I don't know. I think I'm most to C.
I kind of was thinking D, maybe, and
only reason I wasn't thinking D is because it is a perfect, like, infant and like kid costume, but...
Okay, well...
And dragon. I'll agree dragons. Dragons make this at least a C.
Okay, we'll go with C for now.
Next costume.
Yo-ho, bold man! Off the starboard bow!
I hate you. The pirate costume. A generic, old reliable costume. There's not much to say about it. You can get this at every store pretty much. Which, just like most of these costumes. It's a nice costume. I feel like it's one of the more pricier ones sometimes because it doesn't include everything.
But, I think that I was actually just about to note, this is also one you can, like, if you don't have a lot of money, you can cheap out on, and it will still look nice. There's many ways I think this can be a every price range costume and not look bad at these cheap
like
ones.
It's a force anyone can do a costume that doesn't just make you look cheap. Like, it makes it look like you're actually putting effort in by using your clothes, which, like, most of these make it, when you do that, do the opposite effect and make it look worse. I think Pirates is a good costume. Everyone knows who you are. I think, though, it's still just a B tier.
Also, it's a thing of B tier. There is some really pricey ones out there. But I do think this is, like, our first, like, really solid overall generic costume.
Next costume. Ooh.
Look at this sexy ass beast.
I hate you. The Caveman. Not as, common as it used to be, but it's a pretty generic Halloween costume. It's one of those costumes, though, that you kind of look like a weirdo.
You kind of have to buy at least one part of it. I do have to note, though, the one plus is people are going to know what you are, like, for the most part.
Yeah, but the one problem is, like, look at that. It's probably, like, the most embarrassing costumes to wear, purely because you have to, like, kind of either wear, like, a little small fake leotard, like, with leopard prints. I don't think leotards are what. You know what I mean, now. You have to, like, it's kind of like the one you kind of have to be, it's, revealing's not the right word, but in the same way, do you want to go to an office party dressed like that? Do you want to go to school dressed like that? It's one of those ones that kind of only work in, like, college parties now.
Yeah, or you have to be, like, one of those college party kids so you can, like, run around and you would have fun, but... I think kids can have...
You gotta not care.
Yeah,
that's why I was about to say, kids do work because they don't give a shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, kids don't care. Plus, kids could wear the beards and it's funny and cute. But I do think at one point, you either have to, like, buy one and, like, really know where you're going with it, or you have to have, like, a cuppa's costume at one point for the caveman to walk.
I think there's a few things saving this from not being an F tier and just being an E tier. Do you agree?
I think there's just enough to not make this the worst costume ever. I don't think it's the worst costume ever. I just think in this regard, it has to be ranked low.
Okay, next costume. The Roman / Greek / I think we're gonna just put a lot of like the ancient costumes, not including like Egyptian and obviously caveman and Native American. Kind of like the more like ancient Greek, Roman, all that type of stuff costume. It's an okay costume. Most people are gonna know what it is. Only downside I can really think is it's not like the most exciting costume, because a lot of them are kind of just like plain white togas and stuff like that, with like a little bit like red like cape or something like that.
You can go for more of a Spartan look or like a Roman warrior, whatever that is called.
Yeah, but I don't think that's like it's still not the coolest thing, and you can't really do that as an adult. Like, you can't walk around with a sword usually at a Halloween party or office party. I mean, you can, but well, how can logically no? I think it's like a detail.
I'm thinking D too. Just not exciting is my only flaw.
Yeah, there's a lot of options though with this one, but I think if we put those each individually, they will also all be D tier, and I think maybe like this one like as a picture would probably been an E tier, but
maybe Gladiator you can argue as higher.
Yeah, but then again, we're talking about all ages, so I think it would still stay as a D tier. So I think D tier for all these.
Okay, D tier.
Next costume. The Angel and Devil costumes.
I had to try to find one with both together, so this is the one I ended up going with.
Yeah, they're kind of in the same thing. I'd actually say Devil's probably a better costume than the Angel nowadays, because it's just more common, more places to buy it, and, you know, most of the Angel costumes now are inappropriate.
Plus, you have some funny jokes you can make if you're dressed as the devil and you need a conversation starter. Just like with like a vampire or something. You have one.
Weird. Why is that the thing you're focused on?
I'm talking about in all situations.
I guess, yes, that's the one where you can make an impression while doing. If you did the caveman, you would look like a weirdo. What's he supposed to up with now? Well, I feel like it would have been. We would look so bad if we wait those stuff in later.
I gotta say though, a lot of the ones that like you would see generically are kind of like some shitty ones. Like it'd just be the horns or the halo, maybe wings, maybe a tail, and you see like a white short and skirt maybe, and like a red short.
I feel like though this is just like the devil is Halloween. Like when you think of Halloween costumes, this is one of them. I think that saves it as an important part of Halloween to at least be like a B tier.
I don't think it's B tier. I think that you can do some cool costumes for these, but I feel like some of the other costumes are kind of just so plain for these.
I mean, okay, C tier.
Okay, I was sub C tier just because when you do these two right, either one can look decent. Plus, like, even like kids can look nice as the Angel and Devil. Teenagers and adults can be Angel and Devil.
Correct. Next costume.
Brains.
Important part of Halloween. Kind of easy for most people to do, especially if a short you don't want. You can just whip it up, you know. Some quick face paint. If your mom has makeup, you could do that too.
Max also walk.
It's just so many ways to do this costume. Another one like the devil that is like kind of integral to Halloween. It's a thing that everyone knows. Everyone knows what a zombie is.
Plus, the price range is pretty good. Like, you can spend the money, you will look nice. You can spend little to no money on this, and you will still be a zombie, and people would generically, like, think zombie. Plus, you can, like, mix and match this. Like, you can buy, like, a piece of a costume and wear it with, like, ripped up jeans and shit, and will still walk.
Yeah, you can add zombie to a lot of costumes, but I just don't see it, though, as, like, A tier, or definitely not S tier. I think it's, like, a B tier, though.
I would say B, because you can wear this at really any age and be fine.
And any event. The one thing, though, I think this is the first one where you have to use makeup. Like you can for the devil and angel.
Or Max.
Yes, but this one is like, it's 50-50. Max or makeup or face paint or whatever you want to call it. I think it's a B tier.
Plus, it's still a nice costume.
It's a nice costume, solid costume. Everyone gets it. Everyone loves it. Next costume. He's come to take your soul away then.
You had the face of Reaper once.
Yeah, I won. Fuck that shit.
Is that guy being included in this?
I mean, I wish. If you could be him for Halloween, no one will know who you are, but you look cool though while doing it. Reaper's, it's an okay costume. There's not much to say about it. Not much to say against it. It's not like the most amazing costume. Kind of generic Halloween, but also I feel like out of generic ones, it's kind of like with the devil, you know, like as a zombie, it's kind of like a step above, and some of the other costumes get into a little bit, you know, generic Halloween. It's kind of just... It's just not as exciting, I guess. You know what I mean?
I do think there's some nice ones they came out with over the years. I feel like this is one that can be done at any age, any gender. Anyone can wear this. I also got a note. We haven't talked about like comfortability when wearing this. I have dressed up as Ghostface, which is like the general same basic outfit of this on Halloween. And if that's not like the exact proper size, that can be like a quite annoying costume to have to wear.
Imagine if the caveman's not the exact size.
Can you stop?
I think though this kind of has to be a C tier. I feel like it's rude to put it as a C tier, but I think it's just a C tier.
I think at the very least, it has to be C.
Okay, next costume.
A nice follow-up to the zombie and the Reaper.
Not much to say about it, not much to say against it. It's just a good costume. I think it's a B tier. Like, I wish I could debate it more like the other ones. It's kind of like just saying the same thing as a Reaper, just more stereotypical Halloween.
Plus, you can just get like a bone t-shirt design. You can wear a mask. You can do face paint. You can honestly just wear like the suit. And you can take off the mask and wear just that in the party. And most people won't even bat an eye.
I mean, it won't look like the best, but it would be okay. I think B tier.
Yeah, I think B tier. There always has to be quite a few skeletons on Halloween.
Next costume. Okay, this is probably the most modern costume that we have on this list. I think the holiday character is also kind of a bit more of a modern, popular Halloween costume. The problem is, you know, there's so many ranging versions of it. It's been used on so many things not on Halloween as well, which I don't think is a knock on it. But the point is, so say, because like you have to wear something under your Halloween costume, right? So like when you can see the outline of your t-shirt and pants, and yeah, you can then determine the other things, and it's just weird. Cause come on, you don't want like it's kind of like wearing the jacket to Halloween, you know, how trick-or-treating. It kind of hurts your costume a little bit to be like, yo, dude, you're not a morph suit, dude.
On the thing of you've seen this as well, like you've seen this at sports games and stuff, so it's gone beyond just Halloween, which kind of may bring it down a little bit.
I think that does bring it down a little bit now that I think about it.
Plus, no matter what design you get for this, it's looking just like a morph suit. Everyone knows you're wearing a morph suit. Maybe if you get the skeleton one, people may associate more with the skeleton costume, but no matter what design you get to this, everyone just sees you as dude in morph suit.
Imagine like a high school awareness, and you go trick-or-treating anyways, because as high school, I think you should be able to go trick-or-treating. I know some people won't agree, but I think as high school you can. Imagine like a high school jock wearing this. You see his bulge, walking down the street, there's children, it's weird, come on.
You can look just like, oh look, there's the guy who bought the morph suit.
Yeah, oh yeah, you don't want to be that guy. Oh, I realized that with morph suits. Yeah, you can't be that guy. I also want to put this in like an E tier. No, this is up to. You can't be that guy.
Plus, you don't look like you're trying hard. You just slipped on the morph suit. That's your costume. You either now you're a mummy morph suit dude, or you're just a color.
Dude, we didn't put mummies on this list.
We might have to get that real quick.
Either way, morph suit.
Yeah, we'll put an F.
Yeah, F.
Fuck you.
Next gossip. It's time. Well, I'm not even gonna explain this. You all know why this is an F tier.
You're not even letting me like center it. We're just going straight to F.
It should just go straight to F. Cause come on, I love Halloween shows. I have one or two. It's fun to wear throughout the month. Fun to wear on a day. But wearing as a costume.
When it comes to wearing this as a costume, plus, The first year this got...
It's clarifying if you wear it as a part of your costume. It's fine.
Yeah, but when this came out as a big thing, not... I don't know when. It was like...
This is also probably a bit of a modern costume, but more like early 2000s, I would say.
Yeah, but when this first started being a thing that was like actually being sold more in stores, widespread, people found it really funny the first year or two. But since then, it's really now, if you're still wearing this as your actual costume and thinking it's funny...
You're not trolling any...
Yeah,
like, at first,
it's
like,
20...
At first, it's like, oh, it's funny. Now it's kind of like, no, now it's actual.
It's 2020, like, it's not funny.
Yeah, now, and it's also the people who are lazy bring this down, you know? It's like the people who are trolling kind of like bring it to an E tier, but the other people bring this straight to F. So many reasons why this is F. This is definitely the worst costume on the list. Next costume, put this in F tier.
So we're gonna get into like the racial appropriation point of the video.
Egyptians. They're okay costumes. I can't really say much for them. There's so many variations of each of these. I think this is slightly better than the toga people because they do look cool. I get nowadays it's kind of like cultural appropriation, and I get it. But, especially for younger kids, they don't see it like that.
I do think you have to put a little bit of money towards this one at times. Especially modern day, you have to.
But the money is worth it as it looks cool. It's not like the Greek or Roman one where it's kind of like, you have to do, for that one you do have to pay a little bit. And it, again, would look not like you're trying much. This one, you kind of look like you have to try a little bit, putting it on and stuff. I think that hurts the costume when it looks like you only took 10 seconds to put it on and leave. I think this one is cool. I don't think it's the most amazing. I think it's kind of like a C tier.
I guess I'll rank it ignoring the cultural appropriation.
Well, yes, because offensive things are automatically an F. We're not mean here. Next costume, please. Let's continue. Well, I thought we would,
We're not simmering down, I guess.
I thought so. Okay, I think this has some similar problems to the, of course, the last one. And simpler and it fits as the last one. It's a combining, I feel like this is a perfect combining of this and the caveman. You know what I mean?
This can be very generic, and because that you could look boring. But at the same time,
like the morph suit, and like why I took the Reaper down a bit.
I do have to say, since we already talked about cultural appropriation stuff and we got that conversation out of the way quickly, this one also has a worse problem because there is just so many weird stereotypes and shit like that that are still around in the Native American based costume that kind of also ruin it. And plus, this one was majorly targeted for the past couple years as the cultural appropriation costume. So you could look like a douchebag at the Halloween party. Because this one, unlike the Egyptian, which in most people's mind got like the clean pass, this one was majorly the one in all the memes and all the articles that crapped on it. Just so you know, before anyone gets pissed, this is being ranked by two people who are at least a quarter native.
I think it's more, but
that's what I said at least, but
we're not gonna do the math right now.
I'm not gonna tell you my actual heritage. You don't need to know that. Okay. I don't need to justify it.
Oh, now I get why you said quarter. We don't need to like.
They don't need to tell. They don't need to know.
I hate the people who are like, I'm 1% Native American. Oh, fuck you. Okay, I
usually don't like to talk about what my actual heritage is in general, but I feel like this is a situation to just
clarify. Just put it as E. Just get it over with. Before we get in that debate that people did with Johnny Depp. Oh, I think we can put scarecrows and mummies actually in this whole category together, because I think they're both, as long as you're not doing like a toilet paper or sticking hay in your regular clothes, I think you're doing pretty good. I think it's a B tier costume. Like, I know a lot of them, like,
people are gonna get what you are, and you can buy a more expensive one, or you can go with a cheaper option.
It's a decent costume, nice costume, Halloween-y costume, and it's a type of thing that most people just associate with fall if you don't live in like more of a rural country area, because you don't see scarecrows in general. Just next costume.
Why the fuck did you pick a kid for this?
It was cute. Okay, the police officer. Yeah, this got a lot of stuff this year, but we're gonna try to ignore that.
got on a lot of lists that we were looking up when we were doing research for this video, so...
Yeah, we had to do research to try to make sure we didn't forget any, because sometimes when you think of genetic things go on the radar. My point is, I don't think any kid really wears the same one. We know the type of people who wear these.
I was actually about to say, this costume fell out of popularity for kids even, and the only people who do wear it, if you're an adult and you wear this, you just look like you're trying to be like the inappropriate police officer.
Even when you're not. And we're linking this like firefighters and stuff like that. It's kind of just... Even put the military with this one. It's kind of like...
You don't see it too often.
You don't see it too often, and when you do, you kind of get that vibe, even if it's not inappropriate. Like, my friend was once a police officer, and I was like, "What, you're doing what?" And he's like, "No, not like that." So, sorry, this is... When we're gonna focus not on the controversial aspects of these type of things, you know, like the police officer, and even the military. We're just gonna go based on Halloween costume, and it's just... When you're so... To me, when it gets associated with inappropriate things, it kind of ruins it for all the things you go to, you know?
Plus, kids don't even wear this anymore.
Detail.
I was thinking E, but I guess we'll go with D.
Yeah, we'll go D to be nice.
Just because, like, if you try hard enough, I guess you can pull off, like, firefighter and stuff. I'm really leaning towards E.
I think a lot of people who do like this costume kind of make it, like, a bit popular enough to keep it as a D tier. Maybe next year would be an E tier, because, you know, this is just this year. Check the year, the description below. I think it's a D.
So this is basically including firefighters,
wolf
helmets,
below togas. Come on.
I guess so. But so this is including firefighters. This is including not togas, hard helmets. This is including all those professions and shit. So I guess there's too much to really that you can't pull out a decent costume.
So yeah. Detail. Next costume. Okay, the nose. I get there's like some versions where you wear the blue jumpsuit. What's it called? The pants and stuff like that.
What the fuck would I know?
I don't know. It's on the tip of my tongue. It doesn't matter. There's some like nice and okay versions. This is the police officer times 10. I think it got too inappropriate, and also. It's not like the police officer where you can get away with it and not look inappropriate. Everyone's gonna think it's inappropriate, even if it's not. I don't even think they sell non-inappropriate versions of these costumes anymore.
The nurses are
Scrubs!
Scrubs. But the nurse is still a popular one, which does help it in my mind why I think it should still be ranked alongside. It may be too much inappropriateness, but it's still more popular.
What else is in the E tier? Can you move that a little bit? Okay, yeah, it's a little bit better than those things. Yeah, D tier. Next costume.
How did this get in, but we forgot mummies?
Shut up. Okay, referee says generic sports costumes not being a Pacific athlete. Generic sport costumes. I actually did this pretty well in a Krazy video before, but I just think a lot of people don't have like the type of like sports pants and things like that, and the fake version of them look kind of dumb, you know, sports pants. You guys know, you know what I mean, the padding and stuff. I said sports pants because there's so many different things. This includes soccer or else, like baseball, football, basketball.
But if you wear those, more likely than not, you play that sport. So it's in some people's mind, that may just, if they know you, they may think, oh, that person just threw on one of his jerseys and his uniform.
Which makes it look like you're not trying. Especially, like, if you're a football fan, like Bojo has done this a lot, where he just wears his jersey and calls it a costume. It's not a good costume. Because you ruin it by those types of people who are, like, just wearing the stuff that they already have. You know? And you can't just wear what you already have. It's kind of like... it's the same thing with the Halloween shirt. It kind of hurts it a little bit when it makes you look like you're not trying. E tier.
I'm gonna go with E just because there's a lot of shit versions of this and you can look very lazy. And we don't want you to look lazy.
Yeah, we're trying to just make you look good. I'm sorry, we haven't got a single A or S tier.
Holy fuck.
There's a few more to go. Next costume. The Blackout. We discussed it, the animals, but it's even worse because I've known so many people. Anyone who's been to ice cream the past few years know people who've done this. It is the lazy costume. I know some people do it because they generally want to, but a lot of people do it because it's lazy.
Plus, I guess it's easy for everyone in your friend group if you want to be like, oh, let's be the black cat, and everyone has the black short and the headband and the draw on the nose. I think it's lazy.
It's too easy. It's not horrible. What's this one? I'll clarify right now. Anything that you put your money or time to, or just if you throw on, it's fine. We're not trying to just say like shit on you or be like, oh, buy the most expensive costumes, because we didn't even do that.
This is for fun. This is fun, baby.
We're talking about for fun. Compared to the other costumes, guys, come on. It has to be an F tier. This next costume, let's move on. There's not much negative to say about the vampire.
It has the conversation starters I brought up earlier, plus can be worn at basically any age. There is a little bit of variety in the price range too. You may think, oh, you have to pay this money, but you don't.
It's a good costume. It's an important part of Halloween. Vampires in general are important, not just costume-wise, movie-wise and stuff like that. I think is this an S tier or an A tier? I feel like we maybe, like, the negativity of a lot of these costumes makes me say A.
I gotta say, though, this costume never gets old. You can go to every party and you'll always see a vampire, and no one's gonna be like, oh, there's a fucking vampire. It's in TV shows, it's in movies. I gotta say, if anything's gonna get an S tier, and maybe nothing gets an S tier on this list, I think this one, if any, should get the S.
I don't know why I don't feel like it should, but yeah, if you want to put an S tier, I don't care that much.
Woo!
So, it's a Halloween costume. This next costume, Frankenstein. I feel like this is an easier costume than a lot of people like to make it seem. You need green face paint. A lot of clothes you can work with this.
I think it's less than a vampire, though.
Oh no, it's by far less than vampire, very less common, and I think that brings it down to a B tier.
I'm gonna say B. It's not as exciting. It's not boring, but it's not as exciting as some of the other ones. But it's still like a decent costume, and everyone's gonna know who you are.
Next costume,
the werewolf.
Also, I can't wait for everyone to be like, oh my god, you said a vampire, something so boring, is a better Halloween costume than these other things.
But anyways, werewolf. This can look cool. This can look cool. I think though you can actually do face paint for this, but you do need at least face paint, and a lot of times you would need a max. But like the rest of the costume, you can either go buy a store, or you don't need to spend money on.
It's kind of like the slightly cooler zombie, because it kind of just looks nicer than most zombie costumes,
Plus nowadays, at least from what I see, you're gonna not look as generic as the zombie or the skeleton, maybe.
Because, yeah, a little bit less people do this one. I think this is an A tier.
Yeah, plus werewolves are cool. I have always loved werewolves.
Yeah. Well, I know everyone's gonna be like, of course you like the generic costumes, like the generic Halloween costumes. Yes, that's what makes them slightly better. It's because they are so Halloween-y. That definitely helps your case. Next costume. The Sheet Ghost, or just Ghost in general. A Joe costume that not a lot of people do. I think it's a pretty cool costume when you see it, because it's kind of like you're memeing a little bit, You
gotta do something like this at like an older age or younger age. But when you do it at an older age with a costume like this, you can actually look even more entertaining as compared to a kid. Because it's just, you look like a fun person.
I feel
plus you can be a phantom or something, which can be like a Reaper style ghost, which can be kind of cool.
With some chains and stuff. I feel like a lot of people are gonna insult me because I said, like, this type of, like, not trying makes you look bad type of thing. But for once, the not trying with a sheet actually usually helps you in this case for some reason. Yes, I know we can't put this with good hearts very high because it is slightly kind of just too basic. I think it's all C tier though.
I say C tier, but I'm smiling over the wire.
Oh, I am too, but I can't just put it higher than that. If this is like the first one, without debating anything else maybe, but C tier. Next costume. Being a clown for Halloween. Oh, come on, we had to do it for the picture. I made this.
He honestly didn't know if I would actually end up using it. I refuse to get another picture for a clown. Just ignore what we actually talk about actual clowns.
Okay, so the clown, a good costume. The makeup, I think, holds it again because it's not something you can put on multiple times. Not something that every age can do. Yes, you can, but at certain ages, I do feel like people are mean and do make fun of you for it. I was a clown for a lot of years, though. Like, on YouTube and not. I don't know. That has nothing to do why I called it Crazy Clowns, by the way. It's just
That's actually like a weird connection we never made before.
how many times was I a clown for Halloween?
That was a lot of years. But also you can be, on another note, you can wear masks. You can also be a creepy clown, a more silly clown. You can be a sexy clown.
Don't, sexy clown, don't. Oh, we should make a music video, but like talking about us.
I'm more thinking of how funny it would be now if you go to a strip joint and be like, now introducing the clown.
No, it's now introducing James the Clown.
Dun 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 dun. dun.
No, that was. I actually think, you know what? It's a nice costume. Screw that people may be a bit mean to you at a certain age for it. It's a good costume. I think it's a B tier.
Yeah, I think it's B. I don't think clown is a bad costume.
It's so easy to do the face paint. It's literally the most generic face paint you can do, and max-wise and everything like that.
Plus, you can just wear a nose if you want to.
Is this the last one?
No. Next costume.
Next costume? Question mark? We said no copyrighted characters.
Oh, we can't wait, Cole Weezer.
Carl Weezer would be an easy S tier, but we can't in good heart have it on this list.
Can I just say this kind of gives me nightmares?
Nah. Jimmy Neutron, the star of the show, actually looks the weirdest of the group. I mean, now looking at Carlson. Take this off the screen. What are you? Stop ruining our beautiful generic tier list.
Which still does not include mummies.
It doesn't matter. This is not every Halloween costume. That is generic. But I think we did pretty good. And for all reasoning, I think this is a solid tier list. Let us know what you think in the comments below.
I like the best part of this tier list though is, if you look at it, there's so much like decent ground and middle ground for you to walk with. Like look at that. Most of them are in like good solid walk with a C. C's not bad.
Yeah, a lot of people think C's bad. Even D's not that bad. You know, as we said, an F tier, you can make an A tier costume. I think we did pretty good ranking these.
There's one costume we did also forget. We were going to rank Witch, but we forgot Witch, actually. That's one of the most solid costumes.
Witch is not on here? Oh god, no. That's an A tier.
Witch is A, I agree. Witch is A, you know why.
Yeah, maybe we'll just add it in a little picture afterwards right now. But thank you guys for watching. I'm so excited for Halloween. It's been a weird year for Crazy Clowns. We usually do more Halloween videos, but well, different style of content. Maybe it's different, and maybe it's because we do more videos now. The Halloween videos do seem to be a bit more saturated into it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I've been your KKW champion board man.
I might have been the Raven.
Let us know any Halloween costumes we missed in the comments below. Let us know if if you hate all this. Just let us know. Let's get a little debate if you really want to. We might not debate back, just saying.
And saw us in our DMs on Twitter and shit.
Especially if you are mean, though. We probably won't reply. But hope you guys have a fun Halloween soon. I hope you guys have a good night.
And stay safe.
Yes, stay safe.